Former Republican Governor Larry Hogan of Maryland, in an interview this week with CBS News, talked about the fact that he believes that the DeSantis presidential campaign is the worst campaign he has ever seen. Now, Larry Hogan recently announced that he was not going to be running for president. But here is what Hogan said about DeSantis's terrible campaign. I think DeSantis has really underperformed. You know, he started out, and we've seen this happen before in other races, but he was the one getting all the attention, and he was wall-to-wall coverage on Fox News. He was the only one other than Trump that was really getting a lot of attention. He raised a ton of money. He was a fairly successful governor in a big state who got reelected. And then he started, making all kinds of mistakes. I think the campaign is one of the worst I've seen so far, and he's dropped like a rock. And so I think people are starting to say, well, maybe we're willing to consider someone other than Trump. They took a look at DeSantis and then went back to Trump. So I think he dropped 18, 20 points in the polls, and now you're seeing other people rise up. And yeah, there were a whole bunch of people stuck in the single digits. I was one of them. We were all statistically, within the margin of error of each other. There were 7 or 8 different people. One of them, I think, has a chance to surpass DeSantis. So, excuse me. I do have to point out that I told you so, right? I mean, I honestly, I don't even enjoy saying that anymore. But everything that is happening to the DeSantis campaign, and Hogan goes on, and I get more to that in a minute, because he says everything I've said for the last year, but everything that's happened to this campaign is exactly what I told you for the last year or more would happen to DeSantis in a presidential campaign. Especially this quote from Hogan. I mean, this could have been ripped from a transcript of one of my videos here. Because they asked him, CBS, well, what do you think his weaknesses are? So Hogan responded, I think the culture wars, the dumb comments about Ukraine, the fact that he's got some strengths, but he's also got some weakness. I mean, he just doesn't connect with people. He's not a good campaigner. He's not a good debater. Now, you've literally said all 3 of those things. Now, this isn't a video of me just being like, I told you so. This is really making a good point about how bad DeSantis is at this. You look at everybody else that did eventually throw their hat into the ring on the Republican side, even the ones who we knew were going to do it for months and months. DeSantis is the only one that didn't get any bounce at all when he made his announcement. In fact, as Hogan points out, he lost support. At the beginning of this year, DeSantis was ahead in polls in both Iowa and New Hampshire. DeSantis had this thing on lockdown. He had the money. He was attracting the big Trump donors. And now, as we've talked about as well, those big donors are now saying we're not going to give any more to DeSantis either, because we're not crazy about what he's doing. And the thing is this, the more people get to know DeSantis, the less they like him. The more they see him in person, the more they realize how awkward and weird he is, they don't like him anymore. Now, that's not necessarily true for 100% of the people, but it's true for most of the people. DeSantis, in my book, as of right now, maybe it'll change in the future, but as of right now, I think he would be the best person for Biden to go up against. I do not think DeSantis can win a general election, and the moves he's making down here in Florida, which we also cover extensively, show you that this guy is a political loser. He's backed by his idiot cronies in the Florida House and Florida Senate right now, but as soon as he steps outside of our borders, that support craters, and only losers and morons are left to support him outside of Florida's borders. Thanks for watching, everyone, and well, here comes the awkward part at the end of the video where I ask you to like, comment, and share, and subscribe for more content from Ring of Fire. Also, you should consider becoming a member for some exclusive content and perks, including early access videos and exclusive videos. Check out the link in the description.